Careful, comrade. I think I sense a sorcerer in yonder shadows. Well, comrade, I'm a source hunter, born, bred, and trained. And that there was a soul bent on committing evil deeds. I know full well he wasn't 100% accountable for his crimes, but I couldn't have stood to leave him living knowing there'd be a next victim. I'm no fool, comrade. I know it wasn't an easy case, not nearly so easy as I dreamed it to be. But I believe we've done right here today.
You the one Jarl sent in to replace the ham-fisted toadskin downstairs? About bloody time. The beast down there goes through prisoners like Gilda Godsword goes through suitors. A son of the mountain am I, and a blood brother of Jarl besides. Chief placed me in charge of guarding the hatch to the prison cellar. Knows I won't hesitate to split the throat of any man or orc who tried to come or go without Jarl's say-so. Jarl gave you the all clear to try your hand, did he? All the better. That big brute downstairs hasn't the faintest idea what he's doing. Clubs witness after witness over the head, smashing him to bits before we can get so much as a word out of him.
Law cannot work in these conditions. Smash is arts. Law need peace. Law a craftsman of blood, breaker of bone. Who you?
Yes, pigskin. Who are you to question we who preside over the tender skin of traitors?
Law only halfway through creative process. Law won't stop now.
Of course, Law, of course. Though I do wonder what this pigskin thinks he can do better than you or I.
Human bleed better than us. Human squish flats better than us. Human silly chatter upset Law's craft. Law need break to regain his spirit. Law cannot smash and bash in this environment.
A fresh pair of hands, are you? Please, you must kill me now. I will withstand anything, and would rather die 1,000 deaths than offer a word to the enemy. Or what? You'll destroy me? I welcome it. But there's something different about you. You don't look like the savages that ransacked our town. In fact, you're like the wizard, aren't you? A being of great power, and certainly not one of darkness. Yes, you're here to help us, aren't you? Praise be!
Get him to stop shouting or he'll blow our cover. Perhaps once he knows our true identity, he'll be willing to help us.
If he's done making a ruckus, perhaps he'll be willing to help us.
There's a tunnel in this cellar, known to most only through legend. Explore the back wall of the farthest room in this dank place and you'll find it. And if you can help me find freedom through the tunnel, I'd be willing... Well, I'd tell you how to find the wizard's servants. You've proven yourself no friend to the beasts who destroyed our town. Perhaps you can help those in hiding as you've helped me. Speaking of the others, have you spoken to the other prisoners locked in this terrible place? We mustn't leave them here to be discovered by a second wave of brutes.
Our saviour! I know not why you take pity on us, but I thank you for your kindness. But wait! We can't take a step toward freedom without Nolan. Have you seen him? They took him away quite some time ago, and we've been hearing terrible sounds. He lives! Oh, by the blessed Seven, we thank you! The terrible ordeal he must have gone through. But it's over now, isn't it? It's over now that the gods have sent a hero to save us. Before we were overrun by orcs, this prison was little used among we of Hunter's Edge. Still, there were always rumours that its cells couldn't hold captives for long. Some said they were swallowed up by a demon. They were only rumours, but perhaps there is a way to get us out of here.
You made short work of those monsters. If not for you, I'd likely have been trampled flat or crushed to pulp. I owe you my very life. It's too good to be true. You found the tunnel then, and the other prisoners are already free? Well, let us be on our way, quickly, before the beasts upstairs send reinforcements. All set. My hero, you've outdone yourself. Let us be on our way then. What news? What an invaluable friend you've been to me. And now I'll endeavor to return the favor. The hidden villagers, yes? The wizard prepared a special hiding place for them. A cellar outside their home, concealed by a massive black boulder. First, though, you'll need a key. This you'll find within one of the wizard's beehives. Destroy the boulder, unlock the cellar door, and you'll find yourself face to face with those you seek. And now freedom. Freedom and sunlight. Freedom and fresh air. I'll never forget this kindness you've granted me, my friend. Not on my life. I bid thee the best of luck.
I am returned to my true home. Yes, the magic of the mark flows through me, and know their souls, how they wail. I benefit from a magic more powerful than you could begin to comprehend. It nourishes me, and the souls I harbor feed it in kind. Cordelia, mother of lives and deaths, she found the ancient spell that would give me life, the spell that would consign those souls to me. And her work grows and thrives. Brothers and sisters alike to me in function, but double, triple, 100 times in capacity of being born across Riverrun. A new order is forming. No longer will souls waste their power in the Hall of Echoes. Let them better serve as food for a new species. Tara and her husband Horton, their souls call out to one another, but they are blinded by the curse upon them. Their confusion is an elixir I sip from at my leisure. Their bones wander the earth as tradesmen, content enough. Their fate is not one to be mourned. They serve a purpose. Their corpses perform a function, do they not? And their souls give me delicious, agonizingly delicious life. Such a decision is not yours to make. Their souls are mine, gifted to me by the priestess. You cannot take them from me. You cannot have them.
If we free them, their torment will end. They'll be reunited after being so terribly abused.
Let this evil weave its magic no more.
Take them if you wish. There will be more. There will always be more. My kind will grow in ranks, and yours will serve only to sate us.
You dare not only to poison the golden goodness, but to feed it to my brave soldiers. Friend to filthy felines, are you? May the next cheese you find snap your neck in twain. Any rodent with half a mind would recognize me by the diadem encircling my kingly head. I am the king of rats, of course, the ruler and leader of all rodent kind. Touched by madness he is. Imagine an orc believing he could train the gods' most intelligent creature. I assure you, it is we who have trained him. We perform the tiniest of tasks, and he rewards us with delicious golden cheese. I, responsible for the welfare of each of my subjects, secure the wealth and glory of our kingdom by contracting certain occupations through which we obtain security, honor, and above all, cheese. A certain orc, the one who so erroneously calls himself Ratcatcher, has won our employment. He tells us what to find, and in exchange for a generous wheel of Gorgonber or Gouda, we oblige. I've nearly closed in on this particular target, a trio of stinking humans who I believe to be cowering in their cellar. But I've lost too many men to this bloodthirsty feline. I won't send more troops into the unknown until the beast is caught. That must be the monster who's been slaughtering my men by the dozens. Kind knight, I, his rodent highness, do make a request. Remove that beast from this town. Spare my men the claw and tooth. I'd consider you a true friend if you'd oblige me in this matter. And the loyalty of my friends never goes unrewarded. Find me in the tavern cellar if you desire a second consultation. The smell of whiskey in there does so delight a king's senses.
Hello again. Do you bring good news? Strange. I never knew those savages capable of even the most basic form of order. But this bodes well, does it not? Perhaps, if you can get rid of their king, the rats will stop their search. What's a body without a head, after all? Do you bring good news? Ding dong, the king is dead, and I thank you from tail to whiskers for your help. There may be hope for my friends yet. If you would, my friend, you could find them and help them escape now that those pointy-faced beasts won't be on the alert. Their hiding place is enchanted, you see, crafted by the wizard himself to hide those he held dear. They've concealed themselves in a cellar outside their home, the hatch of which you'll find beneath a great black boulder. Once you've destroyed the boulder, search in the beehives behind the wizard's house for the key.
Who are you? Stay away from my family. They know nothing of the wizard. Take me. A source hunter? Lodian, the gods have answered our prayers. I can think of no more welcome deliverer from this predicament than one of your esteemed order. Seven bless us, and you too. Aye, we three laboured under Zandalor's employ. He was right decent to us, and it's thanks to him we managed to escape the brutes upstairs. Zandalor prepared this hidden place long ago. It's almost as though he knew, somehow, that this day would come. Or perhaps he knew only that the forces of evil would always pursue those of goodness and light. Many years ago, he told us that if ever we found ourselves in danger, we should flee to this cellar. Shut fast its door, he said, and mark the jam with a chalk pentangle. This will call forth the magic I have assigned for your protection. It seems our friend was true to his word. Zandalor is a brilliant man, even among wizards. Why he chose to settle in this sleepy little town, I can't say. But then again, he never did remain for long. Always dashing off to attend to some matter or other, our wizard. We cared for his home while he was away, and attended to him when he was in. We were quite fond of him, and I do believe he was rather fond of us too. It seems that when we triggered this cellar's defences, he knew straight away. Within a minute or so, a strange orb of light appeared before us. It grew sharper and sharper about the edges. I held out my hands to grasp it, and it fell, heavy as a pearl, in my hands. From the orb came Zandalor's voice, clear and strong, as though he were standing just before me. His voice was hurried, strained in a way I'd never heard before. Something unthinkable. That he was travelling through the Phantom Forest, that heart of horrors, and into the ancient source temple that rests within its cursed depths. He told us to wait for the White Witch, asked us to deliver a message, something important by the sound of it. We wrote it down, word for word, and will pass it along whenever it is she comes. I know little more than its name implies, but if a temple of source does indeed rest within that blighted forest, a greater evil I cannot imagine. Many is the year since ghoul or beast has ventured out of the defiled sanctuary of those woods, yet still we of the village dare not enter. Legend says that to set a single foot into the Phantom Forest is to invite death's grasp. It's a legend none wish to test. As you may know, this town was founded as the last bulwark against the source monstrosities that reside within that terrible place.
After the fall of Brachus Rex, the defeated darkness retreated to those woods, and haunted they have remained ever since. Believe me, Source Hunter, the last thing I'd want to do is disparage you, but this message is simply too important to hand over to a recent acquaintance. Perhaps if you had some proof of your association, we might feel better handing it over. Not much to see here, I'm afraid, but you're welcome to take a look around.
You there! Where are the Red Imps hiding? Don't play stupid. We know the cowards jumped to this realm.
Easy, sister, easy. We wouldn't want to scare off a possible ally.
We of the Watch share little with those ruddy chattel, but we do serve a common master, the demons of the realm of Nemesis. We've been tasked with returning the savage renegades to their home plane.
I know not what guise of innocence they have undertaken here, but in our home realm theirs is a sinister past. Eons ago, the Red Imps were a free race. Clever, yes, but blinded by their thirst for knowledge. Easier prey our demon masters could not have crafted. And so the Imps were offered a deal, knowledge for service. The demons would offer the Imps unlimited knowledge of the universe, and in turn the Imps would work off this debt by the sweat of their brows. The Imps, salivating at such an idea as absolute knowledge, agreed without a second thought, and each signed his name into a great codex marking his commitment. Knowledge they were granted, yes, but at a great cost. They could only use their newfound abilities in service of the demons of Nemesis.
No? Wait until you are all that stands between an imp and its freedom. See how quickly impish charm turns to barbarism. We, the Watch, were made the overseers of the demons' impish slaves. We were kinder than the demons indeed, but suffered from the same servitude as those over whom we were given dominion. Whatever commands the demons issued, we had no choice but to enforce. After a great many centuries, the Imps crafted a plan. They would steal the codex by which they had signed over their lives and flee Nemesis forever. But to get to the codex, they had to go through us. The Imps were merciless. Countless innocents among the Watch were beaten, bloodied, ripped apart limb by limb as a savage red swarm ran through us. Steal the codex they did, leaving the shredded innards of those who opposed them in their wake.
And what of us? We of the Watch who had failed in protecting the codex were shown no mercy by our overlords. Half were sent to the darkest dungeon cells of Nemesis where they would suffer eternal torment. The other half, well, we were given a task. Find the Imps and all would be forgiven. Those cast into the dungeons would be released. Fail and we will be doomed to join them.
Can it be? After these long centuries of searching, can it be? The end of time. How very far those tiny fiends have flown. We'll run there straight away. Thank you, kind stranger. Far be it from the Watch to receive without giving. Take this stone. It is a relic of our forebears and will bolster you on your journey.
Guardians, a moment of your time, if it pleases you. I have been pondering and brooding, deliberating and deducting, and I have come to the conclusion that I may well know who our true enemy is. Now, our foe is the Void, of course, the usurper of time and space. But more dangerous even than the great and all-consuming nothing are those who are bent on helping it here, or bent on helping it on Rivellon. I think he still lives. The one that set it all in motion. The one you've met here in the House of the Guardians. Yes, him. It The one who does not look quite like he used to. The one that whispered deceit and desire into Astarte's ears. He is friend to the void, and he seeks to give it dominion once and for all. That is who I think he is. As a writer, I'm going to have to disagree with you there, but even then, please don't be fooled, for he does much more than wag his tongue. What we see here, in what was once your house, is most certainly real, but the demon, Astarte, they are, so I believe, mere manifestations of their true selves. Oh, he dwells somewhere. He must. It is a creature of blood and bloodlust, of lies and stratagems. All this time he has been plotting, of that I assure you. If our enemy has a heart, he is the one that makes it beat. That is my theory.
Ah, how good of you to drop by. She told me you had grown, you know. That simpleton of a girl. She felt the need to inform me of the fact, with that pathetic tinge of pride in her voice. As if I did not know. As if I haven't been watching you. Like a vulture, a dying beast. I could have plucked out those dewy eyes of hers and thrown them into a frying pan like eggs. Have you ever seen Sunny Side Up staring back at you? I have. But enough of this small talk. Yes, I have been watching you, and my amusement has turned into aggravation. Yet still, I yearn for the moment you finally become powerful enough to realize the true depths of your failures. When you do, I'll be there, drawing circles in the skies, watching, waiting, ready to pounce.
Good to see you on the shelter plane. A home away from home, is it not? Well, I'm not pleased about it, I'll tell you that much. Loath am I to tamper in the threads of time, but if I were a lesser imp, I might have stuck my fingers in that tapestry and plucked out your strands myself. Handing them to the watch like that, it was obscene. Ahem. Excuse me, my friend, I seem to have lost my temper. Let us carry on then, shall we? Most certainly. Magnificent, isn't it? The anvil of creation, as Lady Time calls it. Don't be too intimidated by the fact that the divines themselves use this mighty forge. Put it to good use, and maybe you'll craft weaponry and armors that will save those same divines from the void.
What's the word, Source Hunter? A family of Xandalor's servants? Why, yes. Yes, he spoke often of a faithful trio in his employ. He said he'd trust them with his life if it came down to it. Take this ring. It will mark you as my ally.
May your sword never sully, and your shield never shatter. I knew it. I felt in my heart that Garrick was dead. But we'll honor his memory in blood. By our you kobold slinger, so we will. The one you found proves the thief and the murderer is an orc. I need no further incentive. The wolves howl and the bears growl. I'm coming for you, Grootilda. And you. You have shown you are a friend of the mountains. Join me. Together we'll undo every last orc in Hunter's Edge. The battle has begun.
Our friend, how can we help you? That ring! Hikara's blessing! Xandalor has the same. I'd recognize it anywhere. So the White Witch sent you, did she? I should have known she'd not sit idly by while the world turned topsy-turvy. Xandalor's message is as such. He's gone to the Source Temple in the Phantom Forest, and he wants her, or I suppose you, her messengers, to follow him there. In order to enter the forest, you'll need an amulet. He's stored it in a small chest near his personal waypoint. Once you're inside the forest, you'll need to find the forest spirit. This spirit will give you the rune you need to enter the Source Temple. But first things first. If you want to get inside Zandalor's house, you'll need to use the portal in this very room. I've the crystal you need in order to activate it. Still, entering the house will be the least of your worries. Zandalor himself has called forth every manner of protection to discourage would-be intruders, and you will have to defeat them all in order to reach the bedroom. Now, the last thing he said doesn't make much sense to an outsider. Perhaps you or the witch will manage to make better sense of it. He said, and I quote, "She is coming. I only hope I can reach the temple first. If she finds the portal..." He didn't finish after that. Many is the year since ghoul or beast has ventured out of the defiled sanctuary of those woods, yet still we of the village dare not enter. Legend says that to set a single foot into the Phantom Forest is to invite death's grasp. It's a legend none wish to test. As you may know, this town was founded as the last bulwark against the source monstrosities that reside within that terrible place. After the fall of Brachus Rex, the defeated darkness retreated to those woods, and haunted they have remained ever since. I know little more than its name implies, but if a temple of Source does indeed rest within that blighted forest, a greater evil I cannot imagine. Before you go, perhaps we might impose on you, well, a favor, you see. Source Hunter, we need a way out of this place. It's only a matter of time before the savages upstairs find us, and trying to leave through the village is as good as suicide. But Zandalor has his own means of travel, a waypoint shrine in his own chambers reserved for his personal use. If we could only get there, we'd be able to flee this place lickety-split. The only trouble is what I've already mentioned. The wizard's house is rigged from top to bottom. If you'll be disabling its defenses, we'll slip through without problem. Good luck, Source Hunter, and unimaginable thanks from me and mine.
Where am I? Is this real?
I feel as though I've been living in a dream. I was bathing myself, as I've done a million times over, when suddenly a curious sensation came over me, as if my mind were no longer mine. I saw, but I did not see. I was as one possessed.
How very strange to see a friendly face in these dark times. Strange, but welcome. A cat told you? I don't know much about source hunters, but I never knew them to be, well, cat whisperers, or any such thing. Nevertheless, I suppose I've seen stranger things around a wizard's table. If what you say is true, it must be Jinxica to whom you spoke. How wonderful to hear she lives! I feared she'd been lost to the orcs or the wilds, but it seems our kind Kitty has been helping us all this time. We called for old Jinxie before going into hiding, but this little stray here was the only one who showed up. I figured better to save one little whiskered friend than none. Oh, that dear fellow. He had a great many friends and acquaintances, from local witches to mighty spirits. His dining room was always full of conversations of every conceivable topic, and it was a pleasure to listen in. But he had been somewhat despondent these past few years, ever since return from an extended visit to Luculla Forest. His long face and nervous eyes were new features to his typically sunny disposition. We never did learn the source of his discomfort, but I always kept him in my prayers.
Our friend, how can we help you? Oh yes, let's! Have you cleared a path to Zandalor's shrine? We're so very eager to get out of this dank little hole. Great gods above! That's fantastic news! I can nearly smell the fresh air already. Psst! Before we go, I might be able to offer you a little tip. When I was cleaning the wizard's guest rooms, I'd often hear him whisper,
Ikara to a locked chest in his chamber. I can't say for certain what's in there, but perhaps it will help you on your journey. Thank you for your aid, my hero.
Source Hunter, you stand at the very doorstep of dreaded Phantom Forest, and before you enter these woods, I need to tell you something. Something about me and Cassandra. The first thing you should know, my friend, is that I am not a human. I am in fact a true cat. At least, such was my start in life. I will tell you all, and all begins with Cassandra. Her tale is not a happy one. She was kept like a prisoner in her brother Brachus's castle, locked up alone in a tower like some fairy tale princess. One day, though, I came along. A young little tomcat that climbed up the branches of a tree, reaching her window. She was kind to me, fed me well and petted me to my heart's content. But her loneliness drove her to do more. She was a sorceress, you see, and with her magic gave me human consciousness and a voice to give it expression. We talked the days away, content to know one another, but once more, her loneliness drove her further. One morning I woke, and to my horror, yes, horror, I was a man. A cat no longer. Don't worry, she assured me. You can be your own self still, but here with me, a man you must be. Despite my confusion and apprehension, I admit it didn't take long for me to enjoy the newfound pleasures of a newfound existence. I loved her truly. Loved her deeply. But then her brother took her. And when she returned, she was a lich, twisted and vile. In terror, I recoiled, fled our tower, and was soon discovered by Brachus's sentinels. They dragged me to the Mad King. So enraged was he to discover she had loved another that he feasted all his wrath upon me. All that is sweet and good in life ceased for many long years. Yet, despite it all, I loved Cassandra still, remembering the woman that was. So when the Source Hunters came, I wasn't simply liberated like I told you. No. I searched for Cassandra and, knowing she'd be executed on the spot, helped her make her escape. I, Hunter. I helped a sorceress lich escape. And that is the very reason I'm divulging all this. To warn you that she is here. Yes, it is true. Cassandra is the phantom that gives Phantom Forest its name. I fear that will indeed be inevitable. This is her forest now. She its queen. No trespass remains without consequence, and I have no clue how her mind twists and turns after all these years. Human yet, or horror only. Humanity. Oh, how I hope, imperfect though it may be, that a glimpse of humanity may still lie buried beneath the lich Cassandra is today. Be that as it may, stand warned that she possesses phenomenal powers, and that she is impervious to the sting of sword or sorcery. I haven't laid eyes on Cassandra in many ages, Hunter, and I fear for what you may find. Fear for what I may find.
What a tale that was. A cat turned human, soon swept into all kinds of misery for all his troubles.
He has lived through the worst humanity has to offer, but at least he briefly knew love. The best.
Agreed. Perhaps one day he'll love again, and see there is value to be found in being human after all.
Why, blessed souls, untainted in these woods, how How is it possible? And what a welcome sight you are to eyes grown so weary of chaos and corruption. Do you feel the spirit of these woods, Blessed One? It's growing fainter every day, overcome by darkness, pain, and terror. My mentor, the forest spirit, is dying, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. I am the spirit's apprentice, and it was once our happy lot to care for and heal the flora and fauna of this forest. I have so much still to learn, but my mentor has been overcome by the powerful forces of evil that have invaded our home. Shiara is her name, and the hum of her energy among the trees is growing fainter, a dying heartbeat I know not how to save. We were caught by a terrible demon, a sick soul who thrives on the anguish he draws from others. I escaped, only to find that without Shiara's protection, I was an easy target for the Leaf Queen. I am a lamb among wolves, and Shiara's power is waning. Without help, this forest and all its creatures will succumb to evil. I've seen these woods pass through the hands of terrible fiend after fiend. First came the sorcerers, tainted by cruel magic. Next came the Lich Queen, mired in sorrow and a thirst for death. But I would have served them all in gratitude if it meant we'd be free of Balberith. He thrives on pain. He feeds on it like a bee to a flower. He must have caught whiff of Shiara's sanctuary here, her home for creatures tainted by source, and figured he'd found himself a never-ending feast of pain. He captured us both, Shiara and I, and so the creatures of these woods were left vulnerable. I managed to escape while he glutted himself upon the fears of an unlucky passer-through, but I could not free my master in time. He keeps her there in his lair even now, waiting for her to break, so that he may consume her. Is that why you've come? Do you intend to destroy Balberith? Blessed I knew you were, but your bravery is astounding. To find the demon, you must make a path through the many creatures he's tormented. Tread around them with care, O hero. They have been tainted, but any anguish you inflict upon them will only feed Balberith and make him stronger. Once Balberith is destroyed, Shiara will be free. In time, her spirit will heal, and with it this forest. Thank you, brave Blessed One. Good luck.
My friend, I have heard of the spirit of the forest in the most ancient of songs. If this spirit is the same as she, we must do whatever we can to help her. Hers is a magic as eternal and pure as that of the divines themselves.
Go no further. Her realm is death. Cassandra, our queen, our rotting mother, ruler of our souls. I feed the Lich. She consumed me. Of her I remain. The temple holds her bones. The temple hides her. Open not her tomb.
There you both are. How jolly! I always do prefer an audience when I give one of my history lessons. My friends, I see you found another starstone. Jolly good of you. But I haven't been exactly idle either, for I think I may have nearly figured out why Source became so terribly tainted. If Astarte is the goddess of the Source, and the void was contained in her very garden, might it stand to reason that it was in fact the void who turned Source into such a dark and terrible power? But the tapestry has been rewoven. Time has been restored. I must speculate no more, and instead we must see what new shred of our tale you've uncovered.
With the Guardians distracted, Astarte lifted the lid of the God Box. What she saw was nothingness. Astarte had called forth the Void Dragon, whose sole purpose was to undo all creation. Caught off guard and terrified, the Guardians, sworn protectors, fled. But Astarte stood firm. She grabbed hold of the dragon and hurled it and herself into the reaches of the void. Here she battled the dragon for all eternity. For his deception, the Trife was cast out of the first creation. He fell to Rivellon, a monstrous creature unworthy of the realm of the gods. Since that terrible day, Source has been tainted by the presence of the void. A once beautiful power has become corrupted, and those attempting to wield it often go mad in the process.
We may have been tricked into allowing Astarte to open the God Box, but we fled when faced with the Void once more. No one in their right mind. This mess falls squarely on the Trife's shoulders, not ours.
Guardians. Oh, Guardians, I need you. Heed my plea in these void-filled hours. The dragon is overpowering me. Our enemies are battering the fragile gates of time. The skies are darkening, and the stars are being extinguished. You have to reach me. Star stones will pave the way. Find them, use them, empower them, and hurry. Please make haste.
Welcome, welcome, step right up. Browse these fine goods from far-flung fairy worlds and local slums the same. Take your time, or don't. Time is meaningless after all. Oh, it seems like an eternity ago. Or was it 1,000 years from now? Huh. I was a simple market peddler on the cobbled streets of Alaroth. It was Master Sixax himself who passed one long, or possibly very short summer by teaching me both the art and science of rift hopping. And I've been trooping to and fro across space and time ever since. Today's special, Zeppelin navigation crystals.
Good to see you on the shelter plane. A home away from home, is it not? It shall be my pleasure. You were deceived, yes. You fled, yes. But look at you now, Source Hunter. You are returned, nearly at least, to your former glory, your former duty. Tirelessly do you work against the Void's encroachment, and for this we can only be grateful, no matter what the past has held.
How might I serve our mission? Threads I weave and tales I see. All will I tell. They are merchants that know no borders. Their tongues are made of such flawless silver they need never turn to weapons to get themselves out of the countless predicaments that arise as they travel across magical realms. Realms as numerous as the stars. Yes, they are merchants that know no life of constancy or even rest, but they care not. With a greed one might mistake for a demons, they long for all that is new, or better yet, unknown. Their trade is their life, for it is their very trade that gives them the life they lead. One of exploration, one of boundless freedom among the boundless rifts. Free are they to do so, as yet.